Hi there, welcome to Funding by Alex. My name is Alex, and today I would like to talk to you about bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is how to start a business without investor money, so in a creative way. So, the reason I'm making this video is because I get quite a lot of requests from people who are asking me, Alex, can you please help me find an investor? Because without an investor, I can't start a business. Meaning, without money, I can't start a business. And these people are in various stages of readiness. So some have a business plan, some have a pitch deck, some have both. Um, some have a founding team standing by, some also don't. The idea of give me a lot of money and I'll build you a successful business. You have to think about it like if someone comes up to you and says, "I want to start an airline." But I've never actually run an airline. I've only done an MBA, and in this MBA, I've learned how to run any business. Yeah, are you going to give this person the millions of dollars that he or she requires to start an airline? So, this is the most extreme case that I've ever encountered. But there are also more modest versions. People want to open a shop or a wholesale business or an e-commerce business or a SaaS startup basically, yeah, software as a service. Something tech related is usually a bit easier because that requires a bit more like this. You are the person with the skills to program and skills to build actually the application that you are looking to market, like the platform that you're looking to market or the application. Then it's easier to invest your own time without actually having to hire an army full of programmers, an army full of developers to build it for you, or hire some very expensive venture building agency to do that for you. Venture building is, in essence, mainly has corporate clients because they require a lot of money to build these ventures. So corporate clients normally are clients of these venture building companies. But you, as an aspiring founder, you need to basically start from zero. So thinking of if you have nothing, you have no money of your own, no significant money of your own, you have no idea of how to run something, you haven't really gone through the proof of concept. POC is proof of concept. So have you validated that it works? So in the sense, oh, this is a brilliant idea, I think it will work, but I haven't been able to test it. So thinking and knowing are two different things. So thinking is good. Yeah, it starts with a hypothesis, and that hypothesis you need to test with reality, which is a proof of concept. So just by doing it, it's the same as people going out and saying, "Would you like to buy this?" Rather than, "I have this here. Would you like to buy this?" So in the sense of, if this existed, would you like to buy this? Or I have it here. I have it in the car. Come on, buy this right away from me. So these are two different ways of validating a concept. One is a little bit more prone to people thinking twice, and the other one is, of course, right away you can test whether people really are just saying yes, I will, and actually will do it or not. Yeah. So coming back to this point is like, to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Like I said, I have people who come to me with, basically an idea on the back of a beer coaster, rudimentary business plan, and they say, I need an investor, thinking also that just because you know people who are able to invest, with disposable income to invest, that a relationship will do everything. It's of course good to know people, but what I can do is usually is like get it in front of people, and then the rest is up to the founders or the aspiring founders to convince these people, because they're not investing in me, they're investing in the founders. So that is basically what it comes down to. So soft launching something is helping you to get through a proof of concept. So proof of concept stage is like, does it work? Like I mentioned before. So is this something that people are willing to buy? Companies are willing to spend money on? Is it solve a problem? Is the problem big enough to be solved? Is it a real problem that is solved? Or just imaginary? So in the end, sometimes ideas are very good. Just to give you an impression, there are, I think, a graveyard full of, companies that have basically done music exploration, so new music. Oh, we would really like to have new music. Everybody would like to discover new music. Music discovery, basically exploration of new music. The problem with that concept is that it's been tried so many times before because the idea is, oh yeah, I would like to. If you ask people, oh yeah, I would like to hear something. Reality, we don't. Music is emotional. Music is actually something that we want to actually listen to the same bands. We want to listen to the same music in reality. There are a few people in the world that are into new stuff, obviously, but we want to hear that stuff, the stuff we know, because it brings us back to a time, where things were maybe better in our life, or, like it brings you back to a memory, not necessarily better, but just brings you a memory, someone who passed away, or, when you got a promotion, or when you got married, it's our song. When you are actually in, dating your wife or your husband, basically, that's our song, basically. Then that's basically also something that transports you with emotional depth. So to start a music discovery platform with new music that nobody knows, the idea on paper looks interesting. It's good. You think, oh, there should be enough demand for it. It's just failed time and time again. So these are things that you say proof of concept really requires you to do the due diligence and uh, test it. So test it. Does it work? Now, you can safely say music discovery, 20 or 30 different startups that have, pumped a lot of money into this and have failed miserably, eventually had to close their doors or pivot to something else. Yeah, that's something that you need to, maybe adhere to, that there is no merit to it. It hasn't been done right, at least in this case, and maybe it hasn't been. It's not doable. That's at all. So there's maybe not enough market for it to actually make it commercially viable. So the word pivot also allows you to be soft launch with a proof of concept. Let's say, for example, you start with one business activity, and you say at some point, because you haven't scaled it yet, you are able to pivot or add something onto it and say, okay, hey, this is not working the way I thought. We should try something else. There's a very successful company in Indonesia called Ralali.com. So they're very, old startup, I would say. They maybe 2014, 2013, I think they might have started already. So they are actually quite a long way on the way for startup standards. This company has done several different things in their life. It's actually a very brilliant founder who has pivoted every single time from one activity to the next, always looking for synergies with other companies, basically. But I mean, he's basically not stuck to, I'm doing this and I'm just going, bang my head against the wall 20 times. Now, if something didn't work, he would also just, pivot to something else. So this is quite a sizable company. It's got quite a reasonable amount of investment behind it, and investors are still believing in it because they believe in the founder. They don't necessarily, are behind the idea, because the founder can make it work, and the founder is the one who makes sure that the money is safe and he pivots to the right thing. So this is another advantage of a soft launch as a proof of concept. So you don't need a lot of money to do this. You can actually, especially for tech products, tech services, you can do this, within your limits, basically. So just to give you an idea, like before you know something works, let's say someone came up to you and say, okay, how much money do you have? Okay, you have $5,000. Can you give me $5,000? I will give you 50% of my company. I want to sell ice cream on the North Pole. Now, that's something that hasn't been validated. North Pole, it's most likely doesn't work, but I mean, nobody has tried it. But the validation is actually there with regards to ice cream, selling ice cream on the North Pole. Whether there's enough merit into the idea. Would you invest in an idea which you don't know yet whether it works? Something is okay. I just have an idea and it's brilliant. Just trust me with your $5,000, please, because I really need to, have this money to start, and you won't be sorry. Now, that is something that, if you're the mother or the father or the brother or the sister of this person, you might say, ah, no, okay, it's his dream or her dream that is chasing, so let me do that. But under normal circumstances, you would not give into something like that. You really would need to know, it's like, does it actually have any ability to fly? Does it have any potential to fly, basically? Now, it also allows you to line up all the pieces as a work in progress. Like I said, it's pivoting, moving from one idea to the next, where you are something doesn't work or you need to tweak something. Now, that's the moment where it's small. You're nimble, you're still lean and mean, so that sort of thing. It's so you need to line up also your co-founders. So sometimes you don't have the time yet to um, recruit the right team. Sometimes you need to add someone with certain qualities to your startup. There's a lot of startup founders that seem to think also that they can do it alone. Some people are more loners, lone wolf, lone fighter, basically. But in reality, investors are more keen on having people with like a good mix of qualities. So if you look at you as a CEO, maybe you're like a force of nature, someone who has this technological edge. You can program, you can motivate people. You have this vision that people buy into. Then you need to have someone who is good on the commercial side, and you need to have someone who is really good on the operation side, where you say, okay, the CEO is maybe visionary, but then maybe very chaotic person who needs to have someone next to him who, once in a while reels them back in and says, look, this is what we can do, and uh, makes the dreams real also. In the end, it's something that you need a mix of people, but only people that have this blue sky, green grass, go, 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 100 miles an hour people, basically, you know, don't win the war either, but people who are too careful and always need to have everything, tested and tried and tested before you launch. Yeah, that is another thing. So this is constantly the mix of people you're trying to build in your company, where you need to be innovative on one hand. You need to be successful with regards to the commercial side of things. In the end, if you're not selling or you're not making commercial progress, then there is of course also something wrong. But all these pieces are also people that you need to put in place. And yeah, I mean, I guess you're building the structure, you're setting up the culture also for the company from day one. So that is best to do that also from a very small acorns, mighty oak trees will grow. So, how to start it? It might not surprise you to hear this. Invest your own money first. It sounds very obvious, but what you can miss. So, don't pour your entire life savings into something unless you are completely dedicated to it, obviously. But funding something. Okay, you have a day job and you are building this in your spare time. So, just doing the groundwork, basically. That is, you're bootstrapping your way by spending your own money first. Maybe you've got something saved away. Normally, aspiring founders, when they are in a large corporate environment, they get this brilliant idea because this large corporate company has maybe an opportunity that they're not grasping. And this failing to grasp the opportunity at hand, or just not being able to really innovate. The issue with corporates, like that is the reason why you say, oh, why wouldn't I have to go head to head with a corporate company, basically, like a big corporation. Big corporations are big, they have a lot of money, they have basically a lot of resources to deploy. It's just that large corporations develop in a way where innovation is a very difficult thing to promote. So if you look at a lot of layers of management. So because large corporations have basically the scale that needs to be managed by a lot of people. So you bring in, rather than the innovative people, the creators, you actually bring in managers who are just sitting on a chair and managing the day-to-day business. So I'm not saying this is good or bad, but you need those people if you are a large corporation. If you have these startup people inside of your large corporation, yeah, you might have a little bit more innovation in your company, but probably things will go out of hand, and you will, yeah, not have a very efficient company to run, meaning you hemorrhage cash, you lose money, maybe at some point you go under. This is also the fate of large corporations. So you need a good mix of these people. Now, normally the managers, the compliant people are, procedure people basically are in the majority, and at some point the culture develops into that direction where, if you're a junior manager and you have a good idea for something, it has to pass through your boss and maybe your boss's boss and then your boss's boss's boss before it reaches any level where someone sees the value in it, where any strategic level basically where they say, oh, this could actually be something that is worth it. Now, um, reason for that is that in corporations, failure is being punished, and innovation is not really promoted. So initiative is not really promoted in large corporate environments. So this is, something that corporations also recognize. Like I say, it's just the nature of the beast. It's not good or bad. It's just the way it is. And you need to stand in line, fall in line. You need to follow the procedures. You need to follow the way they do it, the strategy that is set from above, etc. So that's why you see in some cases that large corporations, they buy smaller startups, smaller companies to get this innovation into their company. So this is one of the things that I'm also involved in to bridge between large corporations and smaller startups to see, okay, where can you do M&A, mergers and acquisitions, basically on this level? Where can you acquire new technologies? Where can you acquire new innovations, basically? So the issue with that is that, to be afraid of large corporations stealing your thunder, or they will move into this. Yeah, if it's something easy to copy where there is not much innovation involved, yeah, then it's just a matter of deploying resources. But so this is also the point where you see your exit strategy as a startup founder is like to be bought by a large corporation, or to be invested by and then bought by. So large corporations can be a very valid source of funding. I will go into that later when I hit the strategic investors line. Um, so investing your own money first, you said you're actually investing it while you're working, or with whatever you have, whatever you can spare, basically. So small budget, large budget. Larger budget makes you go faster. Smaller budget, yeah, you need to just be smart about it. So then maybe something that is overlooked quite a lot is credit cards. So America has a bit more of credit card culture than Europe, but in both cases, credit cards allow you to, at quite reasonable rates to borrow money, basically, and to pay things with credit card, to have your credit card balance basically maxed out constantly, to pay one credit card with the other. That is stuff that a lot of these bootstrapping founders do. So maxing it out, so that can get you a couple of $1,000 at least, at the bare minimum, I would say, to help you bootstrap. Then looking at bank loans and mortgages. Now, before you say, "Oh my God, I don't want to actually mortgage my house," now, how sure are you about your idea? It doesn't have to be you. If your parents, for example, have a house that they can mortgage, then they might want to borrow from the bank, and make sure that you are actually able to use that money to have some capital, which comes down to, the next line is family, friends, and fools. So family, friends, and fools. It sounds a bit weird if I say fools, but I mean this is the official term that is used in the slang or the jargon, basically. So family is, of course, the people closest to you. So these are your husband, your wife, your brother, sister, mother, father, uncles, aunties, grandma, if you still have a grandma, grandpa. All these people that have a special familiar relationship with you, they are more inclined to trust you because they know you. They know also your drive. They know they maybe are, emotion is clouding their judgment. Basically, that's why the fool's part comes in because um, yeah, your grandma will just say, okay, here you go. I have this nest egg that I can put to good use. I'm not using it anymore. Rather than it's an advanced inheritance, basically, that sort of thing. So, and she still wants to see you succeed while she's still around, maybe. So, um, these things are possible. So in the end, it's friends as well, like people who really know you through and through. And the fool's part is basically it could be family and friends that are also fools, obviously, to not really think about it too much. Basically, also people who just know you very well and know that you can succeed. Yeah? That's they believe in you. Basically, believe in you is, I think, the core of it. Then, depending a little bit on the business you have, but supplier credit is also a good source of credit. So let's say, let me run this by you. Let's say theoretically, I'm selling ice cream. Let's stick with the ice cream example. Selling ice cream, so I have to buy ice cream from a supplier. Supplier is making the ice cream, and I'm selling it to maybe end users, or I'm selling it to other ice cream parlors, basically. So maybe I'm someone who is putting my own brand of ice cream on the market as a B2B product. Now, if you can get, for example, 30-day payment terms from your supplier, and the line under that is customer prepayment. So let's say you can have 14 days of payment terms from your customer. You have a negative cash conversion cycle, basically. So negative cash conversion cycle means that you get money before you have to spend it. So this is actually the secret of Amazon. Amazon did this very, very good. So basically, they have quite a lot of suppliers that they were paying later than they would receive the money, because Amazon is a direct cash business, obviously, where people buy something online and pay for it. So in the end, it is things that work quite well for them. So if you have that, if you're a retail business, that could work for you if your suppliers are willing to play ball with that. So especially in the beginning, this can really be a lifesaver where if you get 30 days or you get 60 days, for example, from someone who says, okay, soft, I look the other way for a while you're getting up and running. So it's again, someone you need to know quite well. So your uncle is running a supply business for your business, or a good friend of yours. That's something that can really help you bootstrap the business. Then like I mentioned, strategic investors, like I said, this could be corporates. So corporates who are, helping you even getting something up. There are a lot of these initiatives where they have startup grants and funding, basically from corporate environments or from the government, who are, not necessarily investors, but maybe they at least a source of funding for you. Think of basically bartering services for money up front. So let's say, as an example, I just recently came across this someone who is trying to start a conventional business. It's a service business, and I was thinking, like, okay, rather than asking like an angel investor for, let's say, $50,000 up front, why don't you barter your services? You say, look, you make a deal with one of your customers, your prospective customers. Look, if I can supply you for a year with these services, can you prepay, X amount, for example? I need to buy a computer. I need to buy, various equipment to actually do this, but I'll barter that for you and give you a very good price for this. Basically, this is the one who will put you into business, in essence. So these are, strategic investors who have a sort of integration advantage or integration interest in you. So I would like to have these yeah, this company start up because I can use their services or I can use their products. There are various examples where asking is always the way to get something. If you don't ask, you don't know. It's always no until you get yes. Yeah? So in the end, that is so asking a lot of people for help. Usually, people are willing to help others when it's also beneficial for them. And I guess depending on the culture where you're from, some cultures are a bit more helpful than others. But I would say in general, worldwide, if you need help, ask for it. If you don't ask for it, you can't expect anyone. So in the end, it's people are quite willing to help others if you ask for it. And last but not least, it's just be very frugal. So that could mean, for example, not paying yourself a salary. So, like I said, the example I gave you in the very beginning of this video was um, people who come up to me and say, I would like to have $1 million from an investor. I will not put in any money of my own. I have not validated the idea. I have not been up and running. I have no experience in this, but I still want to pay myself a very handsome salary because I'm the CEO, and I will hire all these people who know how to do the business. So this is one of the most extreme examples I got. So people who are actually not uh, I would say realistic in the way they are looking at it, because uh, you know in the beginning when you are creating value, so an investor will not give you let's say $100,000 or $1 million to just to use that to pay yourself. Yeah, that is actually not what they were going to give you the money for. um, Investors would really like to see you, yeah, maybe not for free, but I mean, yeah, if you are looking at, okay, I'm not paying myself a salary yet because I don't want to take money out of the business yet. You basically go by on a very low salary. I've worked in several startups where actually I was the uh, higher talent, basically, where I was paid more than the CEO, more than the founders. The founders were actually very frugal and very careful with the money. So they had enough to pay their bills and live comfortably, but um, yeah, they were not making the big bucks because they were hiring people. They basically literally used the word smarter than them to do the things that they could not do. And of course, these founders deserved bigger piece of the pie. But again, they had all the shares, the founder shares basically, and uh, we, as the hired help, so to speak, yeah, we got an ESOP, but employee stock options program. But that was basically a temporary, that they were not paying themselves the higher salaries, basically. So, being frugal makes a good impression. Because it also shows you're serious. Yeah? You're not just trying to enjoy the investors' money, because that's something that I think I would personally, as an investor, be very allergic to. When okay, Alex, please give me $10,000 because I'm going to pay myself $2,000 a month in salary, and then in 5 months' time I am going to be asking for more money because I've already spent all your money, basically. So that's the idea of yeah, bad bad example of not being frugal, basically. So um yeah, this is just a piece of advice I would like to give you all. Yeah, when an investor asks you what is the money for, that's normally when investors are doing that. So you say you have already created something. So when you have created something, which means, okay, you've bootstrapped your way until a certain size, because okay, now without investment it's gonna become hard. Or usually the best way to frame it is like, I'm growing, I'm doing it myself, I don't need investors, but it would be so much faster if I get an investor. So that is music to the ears of an investor. um, Critical mass means like, okay, you can already reach this critical mass where you have enough size and scale, you scaled it enough yourself in order to say, okay, now I'm interesting for investors. I have something that is investable. So it means proof of concept means it works. So if you say I invest my time in proving that it works, that is very important. So because normally what investors would be looking at is when you have something that you haven't proven yet and you are looking to scale it. So, okay, please, investor, give me a lot of money so I scale this idea. So, have you proven it works? Because if they give you a lot of money and you're trying to scale it and it doesn't work, yeah, that's a waste of money. So, it really needs to be proven that it is working for them. So this proof of concept meaning like, okay, you've invested some time, you've heard a bit, yeah, like in essence, like it's you're hurting because you are, blood, sweat, and tears. You've hustled your way through the initial phase, the soft launching your business, basically with your own money, and they always say on a shoestring budget. So that is also something that investors see your dedication and drive. As soon as you are starting and you don't pay yourself anything, for example, you pay yourself very little just to pay your rent, or you don't live in a mansion, you live in the same sort of housing as your team. It's just something that it's more important that the business succeeds than that you are comfortable. That is, I think, the key words here, basically. And you've really created value on your own. So let's say when you are asking someone from a 0 point, so okay, I'm still, even I have to do the proof of concept, I haven't got anything yet, I am asking you for money to do that, to get the proof of concept. It's not impossible, but it's more difficult to sell, obviously, because then you, as someone who has maybe done it before, okay, I've already had 5 different startups that I've actually made a success. Now, then it's not very easy, not very difficult to convince an investor that you know what you're doing. But if you are new, it's your first startup, and you haven't, made this track record for yourself, this history of successes, basically, that you put in, even can be 1 or 2 failures inside the entire list. Yeah, like you only succeed is not possible, but I mean sometimes you're just wrong about something, but. So when you have created value on your own like this, it's easier to uh, get a certain valuation where the the investor will say, like, okay, so you've proven that it works, you've proven that your blood, sweat, and tears actually led to something, you've created something. That, so instead of actually going to someone from the point of zero, is okay, how do you value something like that, and what is the valuation of a company? So there's a lot of people who come to me and say, "Oh, my valuation is $1 million because I think the idea is so good, and I am so good, and all these things." But you haven't proven anything yet, so therefore it's difficult to sell to an investor. And this is all about trust. So in the end, you're selling trust. You're selling trust in your abilities, basically. So hereby, if you have done it yourself, you have created value on your own, and this is something that you can, command a decent valuation on, basically. If you would like to have some help with this, Alex at goldendragoncapital.co. So I run a consultancy business which helps startups connect to investors. So I do investor matching. I also help corporate clients to connect to startups to actually get this investment from corporate clients into startups, or acquisition of startups by corporate clients. Do a number of advisory services, like ranging from getting your pitch deck in order, etc. So basically, the company that I work with is Petakaya Amari Sejahtera, which is a pre-IPO advisory company in Jakarta. This is a company I've joined, who's my friend, a very good friend of mine, has yeah, set this up, and is currently advising a number of companies in this space. So we have a team of advisors to help you. Again, please do reach out if you need some help. It's not like the meter is running. We're not lawyers. We actually are consultants, and we are looking to solve your problem for you. And we'd love to give you some advice. And like I said, it's no obligations. You can contact us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. If not, then don't. I definitely hope to see you in the next video.